let's explore this idea of luck today, shall we? And once we get finished with it, then don't take off to the casino. Uh, this whole month theme has been about be truthful in facts and motives. And the value for the month is integrity. And that really means being honest with ourselves and with one another and not pretending, but being real. And being real tells us something like Abraham Lincoln said, I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more of it I have. I think we can look at things a little bit differently here. And that's what I'd like to explore with you today. There's no bad luck. You remember that little cartoon, Job, it was all consonants. You couldn't pronounce his last name. No vowels at all. You just can't get along in life without vowels, you know. And this little Job, whatever his name was, had a rain cloud over him. Wherever he went, the rain cloud would be, it wouldn't rain on anybody else, but he felt like he just had bad luck. There's another way to look at that, you know. Remember Red Skelton. Oh, what a precious, precious person he was. And he had all these different characters. I think it was Clem Diddlehopper. Was he the one when he would be talking with someone and he'd say, you know, I just broke both of my arms and my dog ran away and the snowstorm made my roof fall off, all the things. And they said, what? Oh my gosh, you know, how can it be that all those things happen to you? And Clem's response would be, oh, just lucky, I guess. It's a way to sort of reframe things, right? Well, there isn't any bad luck, but we do establish a consciousness of expectation. And our consciousness of expectancy tends to go before us. If we have an expectancy like, well, you know, you can't depend on that, it's always going to turn out that way, that's never been, you know, then that will precede us, and we're really unintentionally, subconsciously setting a negative intention. It's not about luck, it's about a mindset. And sure, some things happen in the world that have nothing to do with our good consciousness. Remember the book that the rabbi wrote, When Bad Things Happen to Good People? There are things that happen in the world. We didn't create them. We didn't cause them. We couldn't have stopped them at that point. They happened. What are we going to do now? And it's a result of people not knowing that they're made out of the one life, not realizing that we are all one with the presence of the divine and with one another. It's a terrible result from people's perverse thinking. I'm thinking, of course, about the mosques in New Zealand. The worshippers were not expecting to have these things happen. Now, we've reached out to our dear friends in the Islamic community right here in Valley Forge, and they have responded with appreciation for our love and our support. We stand with people of all faith. We stand with our right to worship. We stand with each other, knowing that at the heart of every faith tradition, it's about love. It's about peace. It's about unity and commonality. And it's not about luck. They appreciate our caring and our support. They're part of our mainline ministerium group that meets every month at lunch and goes around different facilities, whether it is the Presbyterian church or the Baptist or the synagogue or the Islamic center, or, by the way, here on Tuesday. And so we get to host them, which is wonderful. And Muhammad and Puzzle come as often as they can. Even our local Tredyffrin police department comes. They keep us in line. No. They're part of the faith-based community. It's a very beautiful thing, and we share with each other who we truly are. And we share with each other what we can do to make a difference in our community. And we are unity in diversity, and we celebrate that every day. But when these things happen, these atrocities happen, whether they're in a synagogue or in a Baptist church or in a mosque or even outside or in a school or at a party, we have an opportunity at that time to be of help to others, to rise up in consciousness and to make a difference in each other's lives. And it's never about love. It's always about a conscious intention and remembering who we are and remembering to come back to our unity and to that amazing power of the divine within us all that can move us through these things and create a better future for ourselves, for our children, our grandchildren, our great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren. All have an opportunity to set our intention and to align ourselves with this divine power and make a difference. We're either aware of the presence of the divine within and all around us or we're not. We either tap into that divine guidance or we don't. We either use our creative intelligence that we all have for good or we don't. And there's no good luck. No bad luck, no good luck. I was reading about a woman in a grocery store who was checking out. There was a man behind her who was watching her put her articles up. And as she got the total, it turned out she was 86 cents short. And she said, I guess I'll have to put back an item or two. Well, the fellow who was standing behind her took $1 out of his pocket and very covertly dropped down to his knees and then picked up the $1 and said, excuse me, ma'am, did you drop this? Was that luck? Or was it a conscious intention on the part of one person to make a difference in another person's life? Our intention is extremely important. Oh, I heard of a woman who was deployed to another country, I don't recall where, and she had a black cat. And she asked her mother if she would take care of her cat while she was gone. And her mother said, well, I'm not sure about black cats, but okay, I'll watch her. One evening, in the middle of the night, the cat did something it had never, ever done before. It started pawing her chest and meowing loudly. And so the woman got up. You know the story, right? Woman got up. There was a fire in the kitchen. And when her daughter got back from her deployment, her mother said, I'm keeping this cat. Was that luck? That was, see, animals too have an intuitive knowing. There's an altruism within each of us and within the lives of these cute, adorable, wise, wonderful little creatures that we live with too. It wasn't about luck. It's about kindness. It's about intuition. It's about being tuned in. So here is my new acronym for luck. Learning universal creative knowledge. You want to say that with me? Luck is learning universal creative knowledge. When I know that there is a power within me that's greater than I am by myself and that I can use it, I can set an intention. And in setting that intention, I am backed up by all this universal, beautiful, creative, intelligent power. We all have it. We all have it without exception. Some people misuse it because they don't yet understand. Let's help the world understand. And let's do that by utilizing it ourselves in a very loving, dynamic, creative way. Let's tune in to that wonderful intuition within us and use it for good. We have the ability to make a difference first in our own lives and in the world. We teach universal principles. One of the things that is a very important foundational piece of our teaching in the science of mind is spiritual mind treatment, or affirmative prayer. It's neither begging nor beseeching nor making a deal, I'll do this if you'll do that. We're using a power. We're using a creative, intelligent law. And it's universal. And everyone is using it one way or the other. Let's use it for good. Now, the basic 5 steps of treatment are recognition, where we realize that there is a loving presence, wise, wonderful, intelligent, creative, everywhere present. The second step of treatment is to acknowledge and remember that what's true of the infinite is true of the finite. What's true of God, life, love, light, peace, power, beauty, and joy, those beautiful attributes of the divine, are also true of each of us. Why? Because we were created out of that one life. The third step is to speak. It's affirmation, declaration, to speak our intention, either audibly or within our own hearts and minds in our prayer. The fourth step is to accept with gratitude what has just been acknowledged and spoken and accepted in our minds. And the final step is to release this prayer to the infinite law of mind, which knows exactly what to do in order to fulfill it. Now, I have found that if we will just do the first 2 steps of treatment, that we can come to that place of infinite power, rest in the divine wisdom of the universe, and know that we are being guided and directed to something more beautiful and more creative and happier and more truthful and more peaceful and more powerful than we may yet have known. There's only one presence. That presence is right here. Well, let's go ahead and speak our intention then, for greater love in ourselves and in the world, for a bountiful health and well-being, for great abundance in every area of our lives, for beautiful, full, wonderful, satisfying work, play. All of those things are divinely designed for us to experience. And as we experience them, and as we become the models for living our lives fully, supported constantly by the divine presence and power within us, people are going to notice. Have you noticed, those of you who've been working with us for some time, that people look at you and go, I want what you got. We're not separate, we're not apart, we're all one. And in this unity, everything is possible. And in this unity, we open our hearts to each other, and we realize we all live and swim in the cosmic heart of the divine. We all share that. We look different. We speak differently. We have different food preferences. I'm basically vegan myself, but you don't have to be. I can make you a nice dinner if you want one, but but I honor your choices as you honor mine. And it's more than just can't we all get along. Well, that's kind of a good question, isn't it? Reverend Mike and I watch the birds on the patio in the morning when we're having our breakfast, and there are all kinds of birds. We have European starlings and little finches, and we have mourning doves and woodpeckers, many varieties, and some of them we haven't even named yet. And for the most part, they do very well together with all the seeds that we put out for them. Once in a while, there'll be a bully. And we just go, usually in unison, can't you all just get along? And basically they do. I think we can take a lesson from the birds. We have an opportunity to remember who we are. We have an opportunity to look at each other and see who you are. It's a marvelous thing to be on a train, like we were not long ago going to the flower show, and looking around at all the passengers and seeing the divine looking back at us. It's a beautiful exercise. You don't need to go up to someone and say, I see God in your eyes looking back at me. It could be fun. It's okay to do that here. Wouldn't it be fun when we can do it out there too? But in the meantime, just seeing it, just knowing it, just feeling it, just celebrating it is a wonderful way to connect and to establish a different kind of consciousness in this world than we've been experiencing for a while. And what we've been experiencing isn't new. You can read history, and you can see that people have been warring against each other in small groups and in large for centuries. But we're moving into a new era. And as all of this is coming up, it's coming up for healing. It's coming up for us to remember what Emma Curtis Hopkins said, awareness is curative. It's when we become aware that something is in the process of needing to be changed, and we are in the process of being the change agents. And it's not about luck. We're learning universal creative knowledge. We're learning how to implement these wonderful laws of mind. As Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, court the presence and direct the law. Courting the presence is simply becoming aware of the divine everywhere, right where we are, and feeling our unity with us. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is whole, complete, and perfect. That life is your life and my life. Now there is no other life. Whatever you call it, God, divine mind, creative intelligence, loving presence, it's all the same one beautiful life. We were given choice. We were not created as little automatons. We were given choice about our thinking, about our feeling, about our behaviors. And we're learning. Buckminster Fuller said, we're like infants crawling around on the floor of the universe. We're learning. We need to be patient with ourselves and with one another. As we're growing up, we're not just children of God. We're becoming adults of God. Maybe we're just teenagers right now, but we're on the spiritual path. And let's celebrate that. And let's continue to focus on what is good and what is beautiful and what is life-affirming. We're aware and becoming more and more aware of the presence of love and the action of the law. It was the same law that Jesus taught about. As you sow, so shall you reap. Think of all of those agrarian parables that he had. Why? Because it was an agrarian society. It was the way to help people understand how the law of God works. What I plant in my mind, and by my words, and by my thoughts, and by my actions, will reap according to the nature of what I've planted. Okay, and it's never too late to pull up what you started to plant, redo the soil, and plant something better, something more, something kinder, something more compassionate, something more powerful, something of a more creative intention, so that we each can fulfill our divine destiny, which is to be alive and to live fully every moment. Did you ever think about that? Our divine destiny is to be alive and to live our lives fully every moment. If we do that, how can we ever try to take anything from anyone else? And as Jesus said, there's 2 commandments. Those 10 commandments were necessary. But he said there's 2 that we need to follow, and that is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy mind, all thy strength. And the second is similar to the first, which is to love your neighbor as yourself. It's so simple. Why have we complicated it? We made up too many rules. Every faith tradition at its heart is all about love, is all about peace, and then all came the rules. Those were made by people. We can change them. We are changing them. We're the ones we've been waiting for. It's true. The deeper our spiritual work, the more successful our paths become. So we let divine inspiration express through us. And then we're led to happier experiences. See, there's no difficulty in connecting with divine love. We just have to sometimes stop all the yammer that's going on, either through the mouth or in the head, or distressing the heart, and just get quiet for a minute and invite the presence. Just a simple meditation like, I am here. I am listening. I am here. I am listening. It's time to listen. Prayer is about speaking. It's about setting your intention, and that's important. Meditation is about listening, opening our hearts and our minds, and allowing ourselves to be guided and inspired, and then motivated. When we treat, we move our feet. When we do our meditation, we're also guided into doing what infinite intelligence and divine love are recommending that we do. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the guidance? That's when we feel it. That's when we just taking that deep breath. Taking a breath is a wonderful thing to do. It stops the mind from going off in so many different directions. Just take a breath, release it. I'm here. I'm listening. What is mine to do? Willing persistence and daily practice assure our victory. And it has nothing to do with luck. Are you over that now? What is luck? Say it with me. Learning universal creative knowledge. So will you say with me, I'm inspired by love. I love the law. I am learning universal creative knowledge. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson.